I want to get your take on who in this ever-growing secret society of people that show up to the UFC is the most surprising to you. Because last night we added Mario Lopez to the roster. So there's Mario Lopez, there's Joe Burrow in there, there's Kid Rock, Tucker Carlson was with them, there's the Nelk Boys, there's Jared Leto, there's Mark Wahlberg. Who do you is there someone else we don't know? I think that's Brandon Tatum there actually as well. I don't know. He got in there.
It's so interesting who we have famous here in America.
What do you mean?
It's always just so funny. Like, we'll have people sitting in front of a camera like Kai Cenat at events like this, and it's so funny. But I would probably, God, I gotta say, I mean, Mark Wahlberg's my favorite of all those guys that you just listed. Big Mark Wahlberg fan. So, but yeah, I do think though that Tucker Carlson is eyeing Washington. I just have a feeling. I just do. I think Tucker Carlson is sneaking his way into that VP
Hopefully.
spot.
I hope so. It's got to be him or the big Vivek, I would think.
Yeah.
I would have said Carrie Lake if she wasn't running for Senate. But a lot of people, as I mentioned earlier, love tweeting my hilarious quips during UFC. A lot of people were upset to see Mario Lopez coming out with them. It's like, oh my God, not Mario Lopez too. I could deal with all these other guys, but not Mario Lopez. And it's like, when you continuously see people who you love and respect and are entertained by, it doesn't always have to be this way. It doesn't always have to be in that order. But if you continuously see people that you like and think are smart, and they start showing up with people that disagree with you politically. I'm not saying you have to like Trump. He's got a lot of faults. I'm not saying you have to like Joe Burrow. He's got a lot of faults, like not winning the Super Bowl. Take that, Joe. Maybe it's time to start thinking that they're on to something. Marky Mark and Jared Leto. Now, Jared Leto might just be a fan who's there every time, but he's sitting with them. He's conversing. Maybe there's something to that. Mark Wahlberg moved to Arizona, I believe, because he wanted to get his kids out of the Hollywood school system.
That makes sense.
Of course it does. And then you've got all these people. Dana White, he's friends with everybody and anybody who's willing to do business, right? Even Bud Light. Maybe there's something to that. Maybe you should start to think, why are all these smart, successful people gravitating towards each other? Theo Vaughn mentioned last week that apart from the fights, what he likes going there for is the boys, and that sounds weird.
Yeah.
Hang out with the boys, that's the camaraderie is what he misses. I like to call it the new secret society, the not so secret society, and it's ever growing. So
I do love how people pretend that they don't want to hear what these celebrities say. Like, for example, the perfect example is LeBron James. The reason LeBron James isn't as popular as Michael Jordan today is because he's dabbled into politics, something that you can easily argue he shouldn't have done. But what's funny about it, Michael Jordan did none of that. He did none of it. They asked him to dabble into the local mayor's race, and he said, no, Republicans and Democrats, they buy shoes too, which is essentially him saying to screw off, and I'm going to stay on the fence and let everybody enjoy me. But what's funny about this is everyone has always said, especially for those celebrities who disagree with them, we'll use Eminem as a perfect example. A lot of people say, well, Eminem sucks. He's over the hill. A lot of those people who say that are people who don't agree with his politics. Now, I don't agree with his politics, but I'm not going to say that I don't care what Eminem has to say, but suddenly I care what Kid Rock has to say. No, in actuality, I don't care what either of them have to say. I care what I have to say and what people like me have to say, because those people have to deal in America the way that I do. They have to save up in an apartment complex to not be able to afford a house. Those are the people that I want to consult when it comes to these celebrities. But when it comes to like looking in and seeing like what's Mark Wahlberg doing or like who's he hanging out with, unless they're going to like run for office or do something like cool in that regard, I don't know. I think I just try to enjoy people for what they actually do and not what they think. I try.
I think that the reason why people are gravitated towards something like this, because yes, there's tribalism to it where there's somebody else on my team, but I think it's the normalization of the fact that you can say your opinion and do what you want in this respect and show up behind Donald Trump and Dana White and not have to worry about it. That's what I think they're going for. And in a twisted way, I think that's what Kanye West was trying to do. I think he was trying to make it so that anybody can say anything they want whenever they want. Now, right. he took 30 feet, 30 steps ahead of where I think the natural progression goes, right? I think he forced it a little bit too fast because of people around him, what they told him was the right thing to do. But when Mark Wahlberg's sitting there and whatever, he might not even agree with Trump. But now he's out about talking about how he's Catholic, just like Rob Schneider is talking about how he's a recent convert to Catholicism. And they're showing up with Trump, and it's like, yeah, so what? You don't have to agree with me. You're going to watch Daddy Daycare 14 or whatever it is, and you're going to watch Jared Leto be Morbius or whatever he is, and that's fine, and you can disagree with him. And that's something that you have to be able to do. And then I think we all struggle with it. Oh, I like that, but why do they have to suck so much in real life? It's easier for other people when they're super talented, like Eminem, who just had a new song with Juice WRLD, which makes no sense, of course, but
unbelievable.
But you can still enjoy that. It's more difficult if they're not super talented, but I think that's where this comes in, is the normalization of people who were told, you're an anti-vaxxer, you're a right-wing bigot, you're automatically racist, you hate babies, and all that sort of thing. So I think we should thank Mark Wahlberg for not doing another Planet of the Apes, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and what's funny is, like, on Twitter, the majority of people who argue with me on my sports takes, and they'll stick to sports. They'll be like, this take doesn't make any sense, and here's why. The majority of those people don't agree with me politically. It's funny how that works, that everyone that is in terms of friction and just going head to head with you on all platforms, they just so happen to just never agree with you. we just make allies of each other, and it's like whoever's got more allies on social media dominates the public square. I want Mark Wahlberg to be able to say the most off-the-wall thing ever and still be able to come out with Pain and Gain 2. I know it's not possible to come out with, but if he came out with a movie, if Jim Carrey came out with a movie tomorrow, I don't give a rip that he makes drawings about Donald Trump. That's irrelevant to me. So if he can do that in his spare time, I don't care what he does. He can have those plastered up in his hallways in Beverly Hills behind a gate, talk about whatever he wants about the southern border. Don't care. All I care about is what I can consume from his craft. And if I enjoy his craft, I'm not going to pretend it sucks because I disagree with him politically.
Exactly.
I'm just going to embrace it.
Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2 are actually good movies. Check them out for yourselves. Last word, Gary, making fun of Blue Jays fans for Ohtani Gate.
Turn it up, Jordan.